What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of KozMatt's Wrestling Recap. Let's get right into the 30th year edition of Monday Night Raw. And man, was it a banger. Let's get right into this thing, Matthew.
30 friggin' years, man, right?
Yes,
Time
sir.
flies. Time absolutely flies. And they did a phenomenal job with this show overall. Surprise return, a little bit of a letdown with the match, but you know what? That's okay. The whole show just made up for it. The first hour of Raw was completely commercial free. I guess you could say the first hour and a few minutes or so. Everything was just phenomenal from in-ring to production to backstage. Everything was just great, kept me at the edge of my feet. If they had Raw like this every single week, they would have millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of viewers. The
Yes,
viewership would have
sir.
dropped the way that it
Non-stop
was.
action. Let's get right into
Let's
this
get
thing.
right into the show. So the way it actually opened up was Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart coming out to give a little brief introduction to the event. So nothing too crazy at all. Uh, the mic was cutting out on Hulk Hogan for a few times, and the crowd was like, "Hey, your mic, whatever." I don't think Hulk Hogan really even knew that much until a production member in the back came out and switched microphones. So it looked like the microphone didn't really want Hulk Hogan to talk either.
Oh, boy, right? Exactly. People
Uh,
making fun of him, but it was a good way to open up the show.
Now, who I wanted to talk next was our next segment after Hulk Hogan went back to Gorilla. The Bloodlines music hits. Everybody knew what was next. The trial of Sami Zayn. So what actually happened is the wise man, Paul Heyman, rips into Sami Zayn claiming he's just been with Kevin Owens from the start. You know, he's always been friends with Kevin Owens, even though they had their differences, right? Kind of trying to paint a picture of Roman Reigns of you know what, Sami Zayn just needs to go. So Paul Heyman had a few videos on the, I guess you would say, pull apart of Sami Zayn with the Bloodline, ways that he's been trying to not just mock Roman Reigns, but try to, I guess you could say, replace Roman Reigns. Okay, so there was a nudge on the shoulder, a few other things. There was like three trials or whatever, three little
Exhibits,
video
yeah.
clips.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman, it's just like he really wants him to just get out. Three of the smallest little things, the stupidest things. So and Sami Zayn is to defend himself. He goes, I don't have anything. You know, I'm defenseless. I don't have anything. Jey Uso steps in before Solo Sikoa, the enforcer by Roman Reigns, was going to give him a spike right on the side of the head. Now, what actually happens is Jey Uso stops Sikoa and says, listen, this isn't right. I actually have video on defense of Sami Zayn. He gives like 5 or 6 videos on why Sami Zayn should stay in the bloodline, the ways he has helped the bloodline in the past year. All right. The crowd was going nuts over this. Absolutely nuts.
It
Right.
was awesome. It was
Reigns ends up
awesome.
declaring Sami Zayn is not guilty. But for now, he says, I'm still upset, but Royal Rumble will be your final test. So not really sure what that means, but looks like they got something in store for Royal Rumble. And that was a great way to end that segment.
Oh, this was the best segment for the Bloodline so far. I really think so. You know what? Sami Zayn really trying to show that he's part of the Bloodline. He's got their back, and he certainly showed it in our next match. So let's get, we had the Bloodline
Oh,
taking on the Judgment Day for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
absolutely. Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso to start. So don't forget the first hour Raw was commercial free. The spout had no interruptions. It flowed pretty nice, but you could tell without commercial breaks, the stars really don't have time to I guess you could say relax. You know what I mean? To slow the pace down. So they had to find ways to keep the match going. And I will just say this match was awesome. So what actually happened is Jimmy appeared to hurt his leg in the middle of the match and was actually helped to the back by officials as the ref actually threw up the X. I'm not sure if this was real. It looked too good to be true because what actually happened, Adam Pearce comes out saying if he can't continue, they'd have to forfeit. Sami Zayn should suggest he would take Jimmy's place, and Pearce allowed it. Ended up helping the Usos retain the Raw Tag Team Championship or the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Now, I'm not sure if this was planned. It definitely was. It definitely was. The injury was definitely planned. People are like, oh my gosh, he threw up the X. You know what I mean? No, it was definitely planned for Sami Zayn to take it. It was perfectly booked out. Happened perfectly. We see what they were trying to do there. So Roman Reigns was in the back, and he goes, "All right, I'll give it to him, but we're still going to see about this Saturday for his final test."
Talk about going right from a segment to booking it perfectly. That's exactly what they did. You know what? Sami Zayn is a tag team champion now with Jimmy Uso, man. Perfect. I couldn't ask for any better. And you know what? Good guy, Sammy, backing up the bloodline.
Yep. Absolutely. Backing up the bloodline. Let's talk about somebody who backed up somebody else. So LA Knight comes out to talk about his upcoming match with Bray Wyatt. Actually interrupted by the Undertaker's music before it turned into the American Badass theme coming down
Oh,
with that motorcycle.
this
Phenomenal,
gave me
awesome, man.
chills.
The crowd was into it, right? So LA Knight tried to leave, but Wyatt actually blocked his path. Lights turned black. You see the lantern perfectly executed by the production team, perfectly executed by Bray Wyatt, all members in WWE. Holding that lantern, his music started to play. It was just perfect. LA Knight retreats back to the ring where Undertaker grabs him by the throat. Wyatt actually stares Undertaker down. Undertaker throws LA Knight into Bray Wyatt for a Sister Abigail. And actually, Undertaker whispers something to Bray Wyatt before leaving and then heading up the ramp. So this is interesting. Not really sure what he said to Bray Wyatt. Maybe passing the torch. Not really sure. Is this the last we're going to see Undertaker with Bray Wyatt? Not really sure, but that got a lot of people going.
Oh, dude, this was just a night of awesome segments and, legends interfering with current superstars. And you know what? Bray Wyatt and Undertaker, give it to me as many times as you want because that was just absolutely phenomenal.
All
Incredible.
the crowd was saying, holy shit. And you know what? This is the first time we got Bray Wyatt and Undertaker in the same ring staring off. So,
Oh,
wow,
God.
wow, wow. All right. Let's go to our next matchup. A little bit of a letdown, right? Big letdown. All right. Steel cage comes down. Everybody was expecting a nice steel cage match. Bayley versus Becky Lynch. What actually happens? Damage Control, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky attacked Becky Lynch before she could get into the ring, into the steel structure, kind of giving Bayley an advantage before the contest even started. Don't forget, it hasn't started yet. All three women locked Lynch in the cage and actually triple teamed her until Adam Pearce comes out, cutting the lock with cutters. Match actually didn't end up happening. Becky Lynch wasn't able to compete. The crowd was very upset. Um, we got a few moonsaults in the ring in the steel cage with Io Sky onto Becky Lynch, but we didn't really have a match. It was like about 2 minutes of them just trying to mess with Becky Lynch in the ring before Adam Pearce could get in there and stop it. Steel cage goes back up into the air, and that was it. Incomplete.
Yeah, you and I were making jokes about this. We
Mm,
were saying they set that steel cage up for 2 minutes of a segment. We were saying that they should have
whatever.
Bobby and Austin Theory in the steel cage, but that didn't happen.
Yeah,
But you know what? This made Damage Control look strong, and I see them having a great feud with Becky going forward.
I do too. It'll be interesting. It'll be certainly interesting. I think maybe time was of the essence, or they just wanted to put steel cage match in for Raw XXX. You know what I mean? Maybe they just wanted to amp it up a little bit more. But you know what? I'm not going to complain. The rest of the night was just phenomenal, phenomenal. DX is out next. Big pop. Joined by actually Kurt Angle. Everybody thought it was Billy Gunn for a second, but no, it was Kurt Angle. He matched in perfectly with them. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden, DX, they were about to do the let's get ready to suck it, and then all of a sudden, you see Kurt Angle, and they're like, "Well, what is Kurt Angle doing here?" Blah blah blah. All right, so just hilarious overall, cracking jokes nonstop. Triple H is just a riot. So Imperium comes out. Gunther just says, "Get out of my ring. This, you guys you're old, you're washed up, all this stuff. We're the new generation. Says, who are one of you guys going to take me up?" So DX says, the whole group of DX, Triple H, everybody in the group says, no, I'm too old. I'm retired. And the other says, "Oh no, I got shin splints, blah, blah, blah." Finally to Kurt Angle, he goes, "No, I can't do it." Phenomenal. It just great. So what actually happens, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins come out to join in the ring, followed by Seth Rollins, or Seth Rollins came out first and followed by the Street Profits, making it a 6-man tag team match. Awesome, man. Everybody was into it. Rollins and the Street Profits take the W. Nice win from Rollins, a stomp to Vinci. I liked seeing Seth Rollins and the Street Profits team up for sure. It was certainly something interesting. Seth Rollins in a tag team. The beginning of the show, it was certainly different compared to seeing him, in the ring for the main event.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes the baby faces got to go over, and that's exactly what
Yep.
happened. And you know what? Seth Rollins and the Street Profits definitely deserve it. They should be at the top of the card each and every night. But you know what? Mix them into some fun angles.
Absolutely. Fun angles, fun angles. What happened next? I don't think it was fun. It was just forget about it. Sonya Deville. So Ric Flair is out next. Nice pop to Ric Flair, introducing his daughter Charlotte Flair, one of the most decorated women athletes in all of sports entertainment. then finally interrupted by Bianca Belair and then later by Sonya Deville, leading to Sonya Deville and Belair having a singles match. It looked like Sonya Deville just can't hang with Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair looked a little annoyed for moments throughout the match. Like, come on, like you're not as good as me. You know what I mean? But I think it was real. Like she's not as fast as Bianca. It's not crazy of a competition. People were kind of going off on Twitter on this. Well, what the heck? Sonya actually doesn't look happy in this match, putting a KOD onto Sonya for the win. So whatever, they had play-by-play. This is where we actually had I think one of the first commercial breaks of the night. So the commercial break was taking up most of this match, but we did have picture-in-picture throughout the commercial break, just no audio. But whatever. I'm just not sure what they're doing with Sonya.
You know what? We all know that she's not the top echelon of a woman in the WWE, but I expected a little bit more for her. Bianca Belair certainly looked a little bit pissed off.
A little pissed off. Speak to somebody who was pissed off next. Miz comes down to the ring, cutting a quick promo saying, "This is the 30th anniversary of Raw. I'm the Miz and I'm awesome. Why is there no Miz TV? Why do I not have a championship title match tonight? It's the 30th anniversary. You know what I mean? We've been here for 30 years. I've been busting my ass week in and week out." Miz just was not happy to really have a huge spot on the show, but he got a spot somehow until Kevin Owens comes out, gives him not just one stunner, but two stunners, basically making his way, looking at the camera saying, "Roman Reigns, I'm coming for you and I'm going to take that title off you. I'm going to do whatever I can. If I die, I'm taking that title off you. I'll do whatever I can." And you know what? Kevin Owens sold me. He sold the crowd.
Oh, he's coming into the Royal Rumble hot, baby. And I really think he will take that championship off of Roman Reigns. You heard it here first. We'll see what Sami Zayn has to say about it, but this is going to certainly be interesting.
Well, what's interesting is our main event, Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley, U.S. title on the line. All right. Pretty good matchup. So Lashley looked to have this match in the bag a little bit. Eventually, Theory was able to kind of turn things around. Actually using a fire extinguisher to spray Lashley in the face kind of leveled the matchup. As the show was slowly winding down, we could tell it was like, I think, not 10:57 Eastern time where we were watching it. And still having the match, and we're expecting a little something. All right, 10:58 comes around. Finally, Brock Lesnar's music hits and comes to the ring after Bobby Lashley put Theory through a table. All right, Bobby Lashley's hit with an F5 by Brock Lesnar and then grabbed Theory to do the same thing, actually F5ing him on top of Bobby Lashley so he could get the cover and win. Ref counts 1, 2, 3. Decent match. Kind of predictable how everything would go. Crowd pop for Lesnar. I think we're going to have a Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley WrestleMania slowly being set up, or it's going to happen at Elimination Chamber. But I'm hoping WrestleMania.
Yeah, me too. That would be a phenomenal match. You know what? It's always great seeing the Beast come back and just absolutely demolish everybody.
Of course.
What a way to finish off the 30th year edition of Monday Night Raw. Just one of the best Raws I've ever seen, in all honesty.
Not a doubt.
Let us know what you guys thought about the show. Always like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you Saturday for a SmackDown recap. Until then, peace out.
Adios.